I am really surprised, like really surprised. Hello, ladies and gents of the web. Welcome back to my studio, Warsaw, Poland. Yeah, no change here. I'm still in the same place, and my name is Paul again, and this is my humble YouTube channel, place for music production, mixing, mastering, sound design, game audio, and more. Yes, we keep it all versatile. And there are two great news today, guys. The first one is that Smart Comp 2 by Sonible is just out this very minute, I would say. And the second great news is that I have been given early access to the beta version of this plugin just to review it for you. So yes, this is the first time when a plugin is premiered together with my review, which is probably a great thing for my channel, for me, and I hope for you. And I hope you're gonna like it. You're gonna subscribe to the channel. You're gonna get back for more videos soon, and then you're gonna discuss things with me in the comments because I love it. I'm probably kind of addicted to it even. Anyway, Sonible promises even more great functions and even greater improved ability of this compressor to auto-assist you based on machine learning processes. So yeah, let's check it all out. I have to tell you before we start that Smart Comp version 1 was already great. It was first of all very functional. As for the AI assisting functions, I didn't like them that much, like for example in Smart EQ 3, because Smart Comp didn't make the right choices for me. It always set the threshold quite deep and the ratio of compressor quite low, so it was deep yet light compression, and it didn't always work, so I didn't use the auto compression functions too much. But Sonible promised they changed it, they improved, and they added even more great functions. And we're gonna check it all out. But of course, to check it all out, it's good always to compare it to something else. And today's contender for Smart Comp 2 is going to be Pro-C2 by FabFilter. Yes, here's today's session. It's a draft of a new track I'm just writing, and I decided to make a quick premix of it, like using some basic EQing, some basic imaging, saturation, and also basic manual transparent compression that Pro-C2 offers. So I made a drum bass to compress it, then I made bass. You know what, I'm not gonna talk about it, I'm just gonna play it to you, and I'm gonna maybe write on the screen the compression settings I made. Let's go. Yes, guys, I should maybe learn to talk less sometimes. I hope you like the idea of displaying things on the screen while playing the track to you. This is kind of a tutorial-like, maybe a bit. Anyway, this compressor is kind of snappy, it's moderately deep, it's kind of an aggressive one to make this electronic an electro synthwave track, kind of punchy, aggressive, and loud simply. This is a premix of a draft, remember? What I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna render this simply, and I'm gonna turn all the Pro-C2 instances off, as well as my Pro-MB, and I'm gonna use Smart Comp 2 instead, using it auto-learn functions. Let's go. Here we go, guys. The Pro-C2 version is rendered, and I have to tell you also that Pro-C2 is good at auto-gain staging things for you after the compression. And I hope that Smart Comp 2 is gonna be same good in this category. I turned all my Pro-C2 off, and now Smart Comp 2 kicks in the interface. Again, as with all Sonible plugins, it's very clean, very informative. I totally like it and admire it. And I have presets, as you know, or maybe not. All the smart Sonible plugins, they have kind of presets for instruments, for groups of instruments to be detected and then to be adjusted accordingly. So these are simply drums and bass. Let's go. So this is what we got. This is the threshold, this is the knee, guys. This is the spectral compression, so it's frequency dependent. The frequencies that stand out and are gonna be compressed more, and maybe we're gonna tweak this spectral compression first. Okay, I'll leave it like this. And to the left, we've got compressor style, which is clean or dirty. Yeah, so this is like a predictable sound, and this one is going to be more punchy, more direct somehow. What else can I tweak? Release. Release is set auto by default, but you know what? I'm gonna tweak it my way. Yes, I believe that's the way it should be compressed. The release time should be really, really short, because this is electronic music. And ratio, I'd like to see the ratio 4:1 even, maybe. And this is the frequency range where I want my spectral compression to happen, guys. Okay, so when I set it to 100, means that the range outside my frequency range is not going to be compressed. So I had to retweak a bit what the compressor suggested, but now I think I'm kind of happy with this. And now let's go to the bass. Let's learn. Whoa, I mean, now the threshold is really deep. Also, the ratio is kind of steep. That's interesting. And I have to tell you one more thing. This is the request of the users. The compressor takes a longer piece of audio to analyze, to have a bigger insight, a bigger scope of things happening, which is good, I think. And hey, thanks, Sonible, that you took that into account while designing this version 2. But still, guys, I think that this threshold is too deep. Same story, release is auto, I need this release to be short. And also, I would lower the attack value to 0. Yeah, this is nice, guys, and these are the basics of this compressor. And my first impression, it's extremely fast. It gives me a good starting point. Okay, I mean, I don't have to agree with this, but I think it is slightly more interesting than with version 1. But I have to still retweak it manually. The attack, threshold ratio, release settings, also the spectral compression, the color and style, this is all very easy to set up and operate. And now we're gonna test the sidechain function. Yeah, because this compressor obviously can do sidechaining compression, but not only that, it can do spectral sidechaining compression, meaning that it's gonna focus only on clashing and battling frequencies to make room in your bass, for example, where drums play. And usually I do such things using Soothe by Xsound in sidechain mode, but this is more like dynamic EQing, deresonating a bit. I mean, the concept is different because this is supposed to be compression, and I'm really dying to hear how this sounds. Guys, I think it's cool. I mean, okay, it suggests the threshold way too deep again. Also, the ratio could be higher a bit, but this threshold plus this ratio do the thing. And yes, I do have a feeling of some kind of transparency in this. It works well. I mean, it's very gentle, I have to tell you, but it does select the frequencies for me while sidechain compressing. I believe that I can hear this. Guys, that's it. Now let's get to something else. This is like overdriven hang sound, and let's go. Okay, again, threshold is very deep. And I would set release also quite shorter a bit. And I need this attack. And also, I'm gonna take one more instance to make it sidechaining compression from my drums. I have to tell you something. This sounds really interesting. It's very present, it's very upfront, but the frequencies and the dynamics of the low end are really not colliding here. I can hear the separation that's being made here, and this separation sounds kind of interesting. It's like not typical, not what I'm used to, I would say, but I dare to say it sounds good. I don't plan to use any vocals in this track, but of course looperman.com and free acapellas come to help me again. Let's go.
9/11 to Area 51. What's fake and real? Apollo 11. Osiris is billions. We know the deal.
Yeah, so suggestion here was really nice, 1.9 to 1 ratio, which is better for vocals like only slight compression. I used 3 to 1, I think. On my Pro-C2 I did it the same here. I tweaked the threshold, but generally the tone is there, guys. And I would try to compress it also some other cool way, because as you can see, there's not like only threshold and ratio, There are more things here. I can expand or compress what's lower dynamically here in this compressor, and this is interesting, and I'm wondering how it sounds.
9/11 to Area 51. It's fake and real.
Guys, help me. Yeah, so there is an issue. I mean, I hid my points and I cannot access them, but this is still beta. This is early access. This is a beta version plugin. This is not what will be released, hopefully, if they release it like this. Hey, Sonible, there's a bug. Take care of it. I'm gonna simply switch to standard manually.
9/11 to Area 51. What's fake and real? Apollo 11. Osiris is billions. We know the deal.
All right, so I've got a compressor, a gate, and an expander, so like a full dynamic package for my things here, and also presented in a very nice, innovative, and visually pleasant and accessible way. I like it. Congratulations on this, guys. I'm gonna go to my master section, let's say, because here's one more Pro-C2. I set it up the way that the ratio is 6:1, attack is very fast, release is also kind of fast, but this is mastering style. I'll play it to you. Yeah, so it reacts quickly, but the release is very, very smooth, which is cool in this algorithm in Pro-C2, and I really, really like it. And now, let's see what Smart Comp 2 suggests. Yes, this is this kind of gentle, consistent mastering compression. Yeah, guys, and these are the compression functions. This is how the assistant auto compression set of tools works. And now I'm gonna render this, and now we're gonna compare Pro-C2 manual version versus AI machine learning enhanced Smart Comp 2 version. Boom! I rendered it, I put it on my timeline. And just judging visually, I know it's not good to do it, but just let me say that my version is compressed more. It's a bit less dynamic range, the things are more like glued together, I believe, at least, I think. And the dynamic range for Smart Comp 2 is larger, I think. That's not a surprise for me. The ratios were lower. The attack times sometimes were lower than with Pro-C2, but is it actually better or not? Let's listen. I am really surprised, like really surprised, but in a good way. Because, okay, the dynamic range is larger and probably it's too big, but it's snappy. It's totally rhythmic. I was kind of afraid that something happened to my low end in the kick, but no, not really. And the separation of elements is actually great. And this Spectral, if this is how this Spectral compressor works, I mean that might mean that my Sooth 2 has got a serious contender. Yes, let's listen more. Guys, yes, I'm officially impressed, and I think this is another great tool by Sonible, and probably they're gonna only improve in time with this one. Let's sum the things up. What I really like about this Smart Comp version 2 is, first of all, it's always like this with Sonible. Great GUI and generally user experience. All the functionality of this compressor is amazing. It's well laid out, it's comprehensive, it works fast, it's responsive as a tool, and it's got tons of great functions. Spectral compression, it's impressive, works great. Also, making additional points and curves on your compression curve, this is also great. New preset, new learning curves, and new learning time, which is also important. Great side chaining functions. The only room for improvement that I can see is still algorithms for self-learning process. I mean, the threshold sometimes is too deep, the ratio is too low, the release and attack times sometimes are too long, maybe as for my taste, but you know what? The general result wasn't really bad. I mean, okay, I have to retweak it a bit, but the general dynamics, clarity, presence, punchiness of this premix was, come on, great. So welcome a new great compressor. Will it be my go-to? Well, time will tell, but surely this is something I'm gonna put my hands on down for a couple of times more, guys. I'm gonna tweak it more right now, and I hope to see you very soon. I hope that you liked the review. I hope you're gonna subscribe, like, comment, and get back soon. Take care.